Now, without further ado, let's get on to our inductee awards. Our first award, the Ag Hall of Fame Ag Advisor category, recognizes individuals in ag advancement and education programs and similar organizations who have influenced ag industry through their leadership, guidance, and community involvement. This award is sponsored by Northwest Farm Credit Services. Would you please help me welcome to the stage Jennifer Yoakum, past inductee, who will tell us a little bit about our 2022 Ag Hall of Fame Ag Advisor, Gene Smith.
It is with great pleasure tonight that I get to introduce the 2022 Mid-Columbia Ag Hall of Fame Advisor Award recipient, Gene Smith. Her roots run deep in agriculture as she comes from a long line of ranchers and farmers. While at WSU, Gene worked as a teaching assistant for farm animal genetics, worked for the Washington Beef Producers Improvement Federation, and worked for a private bull testing facility in La Crosse. In 1980, she was hired as the first female livestock extension agent in the Pacific Northwest, working with both youth and adult producers. In Benton and Franklin County, being one of the largest animal science programs, it allowed her to work with over 300 adults and over 1,000 youth producers on an annual basis. She worked on programs like Lamb of Merit, Steer of Merit, which we still use today at our local fairs. It benefited both the producer and the members in identifying animals that had that excellent gain, performance, and carcass qualities. Gene was an author and a collaborator on a number of different state, regional, and national educational materials. These materials included things like animal care, carcass quality, wholesome and high-quality meat products for consumers in a humane manner. Another area that Gene enjoyed working with was the beef industry in the performance testing and record keeping. Over her career, thousands of bulls from the Pacific Northwest were evaluated and data provided to those breeding stock producers and their potential buyers. In 1991, she joined forces with the Pasco Chamber of Commerce, local producers, and commodities groups to develop the Tri-City Farm Fair, which is still being held annually when we're not in COVID. The event serves to increase agricultural education, knowledge, and awareness among our local 5th grade students in the region. She received first place nationally for this concept through the National Association of County Agricultural Extension Agents in 1996. She says one of her most satisfying things in her career was to watch the youth, particularly the young women that she mentored in 4-H and other programs, develop into agricultural professionals, such as livestock extension agents, vocational agricultural instructors, veterinarians, agricultural commodity group leaders, as well as community leaders. I was one of the lucky ones to have had Gene as my extension agent. I can remember her being at various events for us as 4-H members, from the fairs to the county achievement nights to the field days to the cold freezers that our lamb carcasses were hanging in at the carcass shows. Her education and training days taught many of us youth things that we continue to use in our livestock enterprises now. She was one of those people that I looked up to as I grew up with my various livestock projects. She impacted my life as one of those young women who became an agricultural educator. Therefore, I know that she had an impact and shaped the lives of many youth as well as adult livestock producers throughout her years of service. It's my pleasure to introduce her. Okay, we can see a video.
Well, I've been firmly rooted in agriculture my entire life. I came from a long line of producers and farmers that actually immigrated into Washington Territory in the late 1800s. And then when I went to WSU, I transferred into the animal science program my sophomore year, and my major professor really questioned why I wanted to get a degree in a male-dominated field, and I thought, well, that's what I really enjoy. And then in 1980, I had the opportunity to become the first female livestock extension agent in the whole Pacific Northwest. The thing I found most rewarding is working with many dedicated volunteers and producers and commodity group leaders to help develop successful programs. I had the leadership of the 4-H program in Benton and Franklin County, which was the largest animal science program in the state of Washington. And over the years, I mentored many youth in various 4-H programs. One of the things I found most satisfying in my career was really watching youth, particularly young girls, grow up to be professionals in agriculture, such as livestock extension agents, vocational ag instructors, veterinarians, commodity group leaders, and community leaders. In my career, I was very satisfied with working with livestock producers to help them make sure that they were producing the safest, most wholesome, high-quality product for consumers they could. And doing that, I developed many educational materials and programs, starting with the Washington Meat Animal Quality Assurance Program and Food Safety is Your Business, and then a regional program working with the National Cattlemen's Association, developing the Western Regional Quality Assurance Program, and then a national curriculum for youth that was really used in 48 states.
So here to present the Ag Advisor Award is Cody Reed with Northwest Farm Credit Service.
On behalf of Northwest Farm Credit, we are honored to sponsor the Ag Advisor Award. At Northwest Farm Credit, we believe educating and inspiring today's youth. And we congratulate this year's recipient, Jean Smith, on her recognition. Thank you, Jean, for influencing you've had promoting agriculture to our youth. Thank you very much.
I'm very honored to receive this award, and it took a couple of people to really encourage me for several years before I would put my name in the hat. So they finally succeeded, and here I am. As Jennifer indicated, I grew up on a large ranch in north central Washington, and when I was in high school, girls were not allowed to take vocational agriculture. And even when I went to Washington State University and transferred into the animal science department, my major professor really questioned my choice in animal science in such a male-dominated field. And so I became kind of a trailblazers for women in agriculture. That same major professor hired me for 3 years to teach farm animal genetics. And then the other 2 jobs that I had that really influenced my career was working for the Washington Beef Improvement Federation and as a data analyst for a private bull test facility in La Crosse, Washington. When I first started in July as the first livestock agent, female livestock agent in the Pacific Northwest, I went immediately into a couple of programs that dealt with providing carcass information to both adult and youth producers. And one of the things that I noticed, because we not only did carcass evaluation, we also looked at the gain. And I noticed that some of the animals were not gaining appropriately, because most people that live in the city don't realize that a lamb should gain about 1 pound a day, and steer should gain 2 to 3 pounds a day, and so should pigs. And so I saw a real effort in, a real need to develop some educational materials for leaders that really gave them a practical and scientific method of looking at what is the appropriate size of of project animal that would meet the fair range weight, the market weight at fair. And then it included information on feeding and caring. And those were the first things I produced, and it was feeding, monitoring your lamb's progress, feeding market steers, and then monitoring your pig's progress. And I really enjoyed developing educational materials. And then I developed information on quality assurance on the state, regional, and national level. And that was making sure producers were doing everything they could to produce a safe, wholesome, high-quality product for consumers. And that started with 2 state publications, Washington Meat Animals Quality Assurance, Food Safety is Your Business, and then a national curriculum for youth called Quality Assurance in Animal Care Youth Education Program. And then I also developed a health record. It was called the Producer Affidavit and Animal Health Record for a reason. And I was very blunt about it. If you're raising a market animal, you're in the business of producing meat. And so you need to be aware of what you're feeding, what products you're giving your animals, so you are producing a safe, wholesome, quality product. And it was also designed so if there was a drug residue in a show animal, it could be used to trace back of point of origin if a residue was found. One of the things I did as a volunteer in my career and after I actually retired was working with Horse Project members and teaching and coaching the local horse bowl teams. And horse bowl was basically like college bowl, except all of the questions were about horses. And so I taught the kids about evolution, history, anatomy, physiology, nutrition, diseases, and other health issues, as well as breeds, horsemanship, and tack. And I took a couple of those teams to Nashville, Tennessee, to the national competition, and we usually took a couple extra days and really went and saw the real horse country. Anyway, those were experiences I would always, or they would always remember. And bull testing, like I said, was something that I loved to do. It was something I did as a college student, and when I was here, I had a couple of different breed associations approach me, and we developed first the Limousine bull test, and second the Washington Simmental bull test, and then the Northwest Charolais bull test, and then they were later combined into an all-breed bull test. And that's basically most of what I did.
Really handy.
It's a good thing that I still lift 40 and 50 pound feed bags.